We are here. We are here. We are here. Shout out to the young prince and young princesses out there. You know, this stream is for you. Generational wealth. Start off by the two. I already jumped in the building before the take get off. The plane flies off. They've already been strapped in, seatbelt in, they ready to go. Shout out to Gold P. Shout out to Mark Nash, Gold Professor. The people that don't know, you know, 5:30 a.m. California Pacific Time. Gold Professor Radio. And Mark Nash in the building. You know, Mark used to bang for beats, man. Now Mark everywhere with it, man. Boxing, political talk, relationship. Oh, he already was doing that. So he been here. Just like I say, we here. But today's broadcast is brought to you by Generational Wealth. You know what I'm saying? Training your kids up in the right way. This is the message that we're trying to get into today. What are you doing for your kids? You know, it's gonna be quick. It's not gonna be that long. You know, actually raining. Just want to get guys on some keys. Some things to follow. Start a plan for your family. Even women, start a plan for your family. Like I say, I never give the women the grief if I can't give the men the grief, because in every case, there's one man wrong, just like there's one woman wrong, and there's also one good woman, just like there's one good man. So when the women say where the good man at, there's one out there. When the men say ain't no good women, there's one out there. So I'm starting with that. So shout out to everybody stepping in the building. You know, dropping some names up here. Hey, y'all need to go check these people out, man. I highlight names for a reason. I try not to, really say names, the focus and everything for the business at hand. I'm trying to keep focus of my thoughts, getting a little older, so I don't want to lose track and everything as I'm talking. But when it come down to it, man, have a plan. Have a plan. So understanding, you need life insurance. You need some form of savings. You need to pass on that knowledge to your kids. You know, and the crazy part is I always hear about a lot of the millennials talk about how the parents didn't give them the information. The question is, did you ask for the information? You know, these kids, they can ask for PlayStations, they can ask for, what I'm saying, Jordans, but can you ask for generational wealth? What kids are asking for generational wealth? That's the trigger. That's the trigger words, I guess, that's going, sting a lot of people. Did you ask for it? You know, when it come down to it, what do you really want? You know, so that's the biggest key, man. A lot of people, they want to reel and deal and talk about stuff. What do you really want? Do you want your kids to be well taken care of? Do you want them to live on the borderline of poverty? Do you want to see them to be better than you? You know, exceed all expectations. If you want better for them, what do you have in play for them? What are the keys that they're gonna have follow? You know, shout out to K's Business Podcast. He does a good breakdown of what to be given to your kids, what the knowledge, you know, business, and so forth. What are you really offering your kids? You know, are you offering them debt actually? That's the biggest thing. Are you giving your kids a blueprint to where if something happens to me, these are strict guidelines for you to follow? You know, parents all day tell you to go to school, get an education, but along the lines of what? You know, that's the key that people got to understand. Along the lines of what? Getting these tools. Let's see. That's not even a full clip. Yeah. So along the lines of what? What are you actually doing for your kids? How are you motivating your kids? How are you putting things in play for your kids? Are you preparing your son or your daughter to be the next? you know, basketball player. So like I say, you know me, man, I'm always working, doing little stuff. So y'all hear me rattling in the background. But when it comes down to it, like what's the information you giving for your kids? You know, if I want my kids to be successful, what are the things that I'm leaving for them to be successful with? You know, am I paving the way for them to be in debt because I didn't teach them certain things? You know, I'm teaching them to work for themselves. I'm teaching them to work for others. What's the key thing? You know, we can always have the talk all day about, you know, my child grew up to be this, my child grew up to be that. How much of a part you played in that? You know, that's the biggest thing when it come down to it. What part did you actually play in your kid's success? And that's like a motivating factor for a lot of people, which they really got to have an understanding. You know, if my son was into basketball, I gave him his first basketball. He went to the NBA. You know, you played a big part in that, big part. But when it comes down to it, what are the other things that you did for your son besides giving them a basketball and teaching them how to play basketball? Did you also give your child something to them for them to progress in life, like giving them a checkbook, giving them some systems of check and balance to show them how to, you know, go over finance, show them about, you know, different little things like stocks. Crypto's hot right now. Do your kids know about crypto? You know, I'm actually in the process of doing this experiment with my younger boys. I'm actually gonna give them $150, make a crypto account for them, let them buy whatever they want, and let it sit. Because in the end, crypto, to an extent, is funny money to it turn real. Nobody knew that Bitcoin was gonna be this way. So, like I said, once again, crypto was funny money to it turn real. You know, so we have our people still stepping in the building. Like I say, when it boils down to it, how are you going to teach your kids this generational wealth? Are we going to be motivated to, you know, tell them about buying houses? Because last time I heard on a pod, even in personal experience, you know, I have a family member. I was talking with him. He said his dad bought multiple houses. He was renting them out before, you know, he got ill. You know, he never said him and his sister down taught him how to buy a house. It was something that they learned. Same thing with, you know, him knowing about different processes on, you know, getting grants, loans. Let's see, but he was never taught that. But his dad was a whiz at it. His dad got multiple grants and loans for business, you know. But the thing was, the knowledge wasn't pressed and pushed to him. But at the end of the day, I asked him, I said, well, did you ask your dad about all this stuff? He was like, well, no, he had the knowledge why he couldn't pass it down. I'm like, your daddy give you a basketball, you become the greatest basketball player ever. But your dad is a whiz at math, and you expect to just inherit it or get it from him, you know, just like that basketball. You know, some people have passion for their sport, so they try to influence their kids. Most parents, they'll only give you that influence if they see the interest in you. You know, if you have a son that takes interest in woodwork and you're a carpenter, of course you're going to give him the skills. You're going to show him. You're going to have him over there. You know, to the point nowadays, it's not forced on kids. Back in the day, you had no choice. That's where the whole blacksmith thing came out. You was a blacksmith. Your dad was a blacksmith. It came down to it. Your grandson was a blacksmith. You had no choice all the way down to the end. Now the perception is okay. Maybe I can change careers. You know, All my family were blacksmiths. I'm gonna design myself in becoming a you know, automaker, or let's say you want to be a carpenter out of all that. Who knows? Let's say you want to be a banker. You want to own your own bank, but you want to change the image and all that. What does that entail of? What does it take? And that's the steps. If your child wants to be a bank, my son wants to own a Tesla dealership. I told him, you got to be good at math. You got to be able to read. He's phenomenal with reading, math, so because he's like reading more. When it comes out to it, I told him you got to be good at both. If I give you 10,000 cars and I say I need you to sell these 10,000 cars at $1,000 a pop, how much is that? You got to be quick on your feet. Add the zeros and there you go. And a lot of people, they're not good. Me, I'm good with math. One of my other son, he's good with math. You know, and that's why I tell them both. In competition, you got to be good at both. Knowing the structure of finance is the key. A lot of kids fall short in finance, and as they grow up, it shows. You spend more money on the product of Jordans than investing it in the product, which is going to give you a bigger return. A lot of people got contracts back in the day where they were trying to give them percentages of the load of the company. You know, Jordan was one of the ones who got a good healthy percentage in starting his own brand. LeBron could have did the same thing. You see, AI, he was still with the company, but if he would have branched out and started his own question shoe, who knows where he would have been. He was famous for his crossover. Jordan was famous for the free throw line dunk. There's a lot of NBA players, Carpus Diaz sees the day. A lot of people don't take advantage of the situation at hand. So, like I said, it's gonna be short. I got some things to do. I thought I had a little more time than usual, but the main thing is let's go ahead and start pounding this to our kids. You know, for the kids that don't want to learn, hey, you don't got to teach them, but to an extent, they got to know where they stand when they don't get the knowledge. Because everything ain't built for everybody. Like I always say, if we have a black oasis, somebody's still going to be able to have to take out the trash. Somebody's going to be able to do the handiwork. So everybody's not going to be a millionaire, billionaire. Have an understanding. Everybody has a place in society, big or small. It matters to an extent. For the ones that go out there and get the knowledge, they can pass it on to others or hoard it to themselves. But have an understanding. One place is not the only place to get knowledge. I say this all the time. When I deal with men, I have a whole black book, you could say, of men that I can talk to of problems, issues, and having an understanding of how I want to direct myself and to go about things. You know, even to a degree, a lot of guys they shame about women. Women give great information. Most women ain't just there to benefit themselves. They're in there for the betterment of their kids and seeing their young boys giving them the best information possible. And so when it comes down to it, you gotta pick and choose your battles. Like, you know, who you're gonna get influenced by and who's gonna help you in greater favor. So like I say, start off more than anything. If you don't know, I'm always gonna push this name. Shout out to Alonzo Hall. Go over there, get you some life insurance. Oh yeah. Uh red lipstick, vibe. You need to. I think I sent you. I think I had it in one of your videos I put about Alonzo Hall for you to go check him out. And I sent his email. I actually gonna put his link to his video so you can check him out as well. And that last video I put some up about Alonzo, and just wanting people to go over there and check out his stuff. You need to get some life insurance, whether it be for you or for your kids. Get that a life insurance for your young person when they're young so they can grow with the policy, whole life preferably. They can borrow that money because have an understanding as the kids get older, there's not going to be any more banks. They're going to be giving loans willy nilly. They're going to be giving loans to guarantees where they know they can get the money back. If you fall on hard times, who's going to help you? So have an understanding what you want to do and how you want to do it. That's structure for your kids. For you as well, get whole life. To a degree, when you get a certain age, get term life because that's going to benefit long term. So get long term. When you get older, get term life to benefit yourself for your kids long term. So have an understanding, man. I keep going over this life insurance because you build the generational wealth that way. And Alonzo talked about this too. And it's funny because I was talking to my wife about that. And I was actually talking to one of my cousins. I told him that I'm actually going to be putting life insurance on all of here to a certain extent. 5,000 here, 10 there, 50 there. That's life changing. You're paying anywhere from 75 to 100 some dollars each month. And, the elder person in your family dies, you know, there you go. It's not saying that you're looking at their demise. You're looking, generational wise. You know, if you talk to Alonzo, Alonzo would tell you briefly, he says it all the time how the Jews have, 12 or so different policies. My guy told me that most of the elders that he deal with their insurance, their family put like, seven different people combined to have one big policy, multiple policies on the elders because, why are they having so much insurance on them at an older age? It's not for their benefit, it's to pass the wealth on to the kids. So have an understanding, man. When you deal in life insurance, shout out to you, Alonzo. Like I said, I'm always pushing your name, man. And hey man, I'm gonna need a code or something. Cause like I said, I want some people to go ahead and get some holiday deals, some half off your consultations. They probably want that good consultation that you gave pastor, this weekend. I ain't gonna say the number. I'm gonna let you give them that discount. But to push the big deal, man. Like have an understanding. If you want generational wealth, it doesn't start with you leaving your son your Jordan collection. Doesn't start with the mom leaving the weave collection. Nah, it starts with, basically money. You know, the material things can be sold and all that stuff, but in the end, you're gonna need money. So I'm gonna go ahead and end with this. Till next time, have an understanding. And like I say, shout out to Alonzo, man. Passing generational wealth through the families. And it is what it is. We here, and like always, we gone.